Happy spring, happy April everybody. Thanks for watching this YouTube video where today I'm going to give you some ideas for spring for your Etsy store. You should watch this video if you already have an Etsy store and you're looking for some new ideas, or you haven't started on Etsy and you just want to have some ideas on where you can go to get started, or you've been interested but you say, you know what, I don't make anything. So I'm going to talk to you about supply and vintage items. So let's get started. I'm Jocelyn, and I'm also known as the PhD reseller because I love to research on how to succeed on e-commerce sites. I'm doing similar videos about April and spring for my other sites that I work on, Poshmark, Mercari, Amazon, and eBay. And I was leaving out Etsy, and I said, what in the devil could I talk about there? So if you also are a seller on any of those other sites, I please ask you to go look at those. I'm uploading a bunch of them today. But those videos are more about what to source, and Etsy is so different that I needed a different approach. And so I came up with the idea for April trends. I wanted to look at some holidays that were coming up, and I wanted to look at what are the best sellers, and then talk about some ways that you can differentiate yourself, still being in those bestseller categories, so that you can have some great sales on Etsy. So I'm going to look at some different trends and give you some ideas for your Etsy store. So let's go ahead and get started yet again. Now, I hate to PowerPoint people to death, but this was the best way to kind of give the information. I promise you I'm not going to put a bunch of words on there, but I did want to show you some pictures and from real life live Etsy stores so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. So this is the Etsy trends for April 2021. Now, when you're first thinking about different things to include in your Etsy store, think about these upcoming holidays. Now, we've already passed Easter. Easter is Sunday, so anything Easter related is probably gone. But you might still have a couple digital items up, something that people can download. Maybe it's a card or something that they can put on an Easter basket really quick that they can actually have for Easter. The next big holiday that's coming up that you might want to consider doing something for is Earth Day. Earth Day is April the 22nd. It is a pretty good holiday here in the United States, and it's a good day for everybody. I'm not sure if it's an International Earth Day or just U.S. Earth Day, but I know that I've done things for Earth Day, so that's an idea for you. The other one is Star Wars. That's May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Therefore, if you like Star Wars things, that might be something that you want to create, something relevant to Star Wars. Cinco de Mayo, May 5th. I believe that Cinco de Mayo is going to be pretty big this year. Last year, Easter was a bust. Cinco, all of those holidays were really a bust because of COVID. And I think that Cinco de Mayo this year was going to be really good. And then May 9th, you still have some time to start creating some things for Mother's Day. It's not too late. So that's something that if you haven't started on, go ahead and start working on that as well. The next holidays that are coming up, that actually, one is already here. Sorry, my slideshow jump on me, was Major League Baseball just started. And if you have something that is baseball related, that could be something especially for men's things, but women, we like baseball too as well. So anything kids, you can do like a one piece and have something with baseball on it, some type of design. The NCAA championships are happening in the next couple days. Again, it's probably too late for that, but that's something where after the championship, that might be something that you want to create. Whoever wins, something to create with that. Be careful with copywriting. You don't want to use anything that is copyrighted. I think like logos and stuff are copyrighted, but you could probably still just put like championship or something like that. I don't think that's going to be a problem. Another thing that's coming up is the Masters Golf Tournament. That's April 9th through the 11th. And for physical products, that might be a little bit too late, but that might be something where someone could download. But you know what? if somebody wants it, you might want to offer some priority shipping, or maybe do it this weekend and hit it hard and see if you can get it out. And then the other thing that's coming up is the Kentucky Derby on May the 1st. Hopefully it'll be happening this year. So a lot of people are really excited about having the Kentucky Derby. So horses and mint juleps and big hats, those sorts of things, those are things that you might want to consider going ahead and implementing into your Etsy store. So let's talk about the biggest sellers that are on Etsy and how you can differentiate yourself a little bit. So one of the biggest, highest sellers on Etsy is stickers. And I found these stickers here. And one is a logo sticker. Try to think about how you could differentiate yourself with, the logo sticker. Maybe it won't be round, maybe it's large, maybe it's something that you can put on some kind of different material, a card, etc. The second one that I saw was these breastfeeding stickers. And how I came up with this was I went to Etsy and I just put in stickers, or I put in whatever else that I'm looking at. And I took the first 3 best sellers and I just took the pictures off of them. And I just said to myself, what is it about this that someone else could recreate and make something unique for their own Etsy store? So I thought the breastfeeding stickers was interesting. So maybe there's something unique that is special about you, or an activity, or anything in your life that you do. Maybe you like to travel, maybe you're vegan, maybe you're vegetarian. There's all sorts of little things that you can niche down into make into little stickers. And then the third one was summer stickers. And they said spring/summer. So if you're not at it yet, you want to think about making some cute beach theme, summer theme. We're all ready for us to get out and we've been cooped up long enough, and that's an idea for you. The next big seller was notebooks and journals. So here is the first category where if you don't make something and you want to offer supplies, you can do this. So the 3 best sellers one was a personalized journal over here on the far right hand side. And the other one on the left hand side was a handmade leather journal. But there's other ways that you can make journals. You can make them with cloth. You can make them with some type of paper. Maybe there's some kind of something designing that you are familiar with that you can do with notebooks. But then also in the middle was this bestseller was these notebook, and these are supplies. People can make things with these notebooks. The next big seller is candles. I was looking at these candles here, and this one on the right hand side was a birthday personalized candle. So what is something that you can also do to personalize the candle, so it's just a little bit different from the ones that are out there. The other one was, in the middle, was about, was adjectives. So they warm and cozy, right? So we're getting out of winter, so we're about to go into spring, maybe renewal, or sunny, or grassy. Think about some adjectives that remind you of transitioning out of winter and going into spring and summer. And then the third one was a bookstore. Kind of was like, okay, so that's super niche-y, where people said, the smells, mahogany, leather, coffee. Well, that reminds me of a bookstore, leather seats, being comfortable, reading a book, and the book lover soy candle. So if there's an event that you like, maybe it's gardening or the beach, something that is very super niche-y that you can niche down into. Another category that's really big on Etsy is jewelry. And the 3 most popular types of jewelry that are sold on Etsy are necklaces, earrings, and rings. And the best seller was just this plain ring. So if you make jewelry, maybe just something more simplistic. And then you see sort of in the middle where you have this really unique, I didn't even notice this until now. So a woman who's bent over, and that's a moon. I just thought it was something else. So something that you can make that kind of whimsical or different. That's, I would say, something that you wouldn't normally see in jewelry, or you don't see it in life in general. And then the third one was just these little tiny dainty earrings. So I'm noticing a trend was like, small, simplistic, minimalistic, and then also this sort of whimsical, I'd say out of this world. It's not what I mean, but something that's not something that you would come across every day. Home decor, that's the next one that people can, that is very popular on Etsy. And the left one was this metal wall art. I thought was really interesting. I don't even know how in the world they would actually ship that, but that's fantastic. It looks huge too. You can tell it's, when looking at the panels on the wall, it's pretty big. It's got to be heavy. So metal wall art is a trend. And the one in the middle is, I would call these inspirational signs. And what's nice about these is that you can make these as digital downloads. You can create these as posters and print them up and send them. You can make them as cards. You can make them as part of a picture frame. So inspirational things, you can create your own inspirational message. If you're artistic and you're poetic, that's something that you can do. The third one on the right is these, they call them stacked books. And what they've done is they've taken typically hardback books, they've covered them with some type of craft paper, and they've personalized them into something. And I'm not sure what those dates mean. Maybe it's the date they met, date they got engaged, date they got married, something like that. And so you can create different things, and that's really interesting, especially if you have a lot of books around. Maybe you're a bookseller, get a couple books. They tend to be the same size and the same length, so kind of go through and look at that. But also, that might be a little bit different. Maybe the book stacking is a little bit different. Try a different color. Maybe something regarding kids or something like that for those book stackings. The next one that is very popular is digital art or digital prints. And I found these three here. And this one was a digital print on the left-hand side. It was just about, they made it a little bit, had like nice colors. And the colors match. Like it's this blue, light blue for the ocean, the beach. And they have this gray and white. So very monochromous colors with a splash of blue in them. And it's about 3 locations. The one in the middle is architecture. So any sort of, maybe you can look at some pictures that you've taken before, that you can now do something and create some sort of digital, change it up a little bit. And then this other one was this couple print. So it has, how can you, if you're artistic and you're able to create some sort of way of representing couples or families or children, or parents, grandparents, Mother's Day, mother and daughter together, those would be really nice. The next one that are a big seller are posters. So this is another thing where if you aren't artistic, or I don't say artistic, you don't make things. These over here on the right, these were movie posters. So I'm not sure if they actually recreated these into some sort of something on there. So that would be something, if you found some movie posters, you could create some sort of thing maybe behind a particular genre or an actor. Another thing you can do is if you find vintage posters when you're out, you could sell those because that's vintage. The one in the middle would be another social justice inspirational poster that if you are interested in doing anything like that. And you see, it's not that complicated. It's simple. As a woman with 2 hands, maybe you have something, an interesting quote about mothers, or you create something. That's even better. Make sure you don't copyright quotes. Certain things are able to be used, like after a certain, I think it's like 100 years or something like that, you can use them. So you can use something out of Shakespeare and you wouldn't be copywriting. And then the third one I thought was really cool. Well, it's like a pun. And what it is, on the far left one, of the first one, it's a picture, it's a graphic of the Grand Canyon, and it says a hole, a very, very large hole. I thought that was really cool. So if you are a funny, comedic, or you just can come up with cute quips and things of that nature, that could be something that you can implement into your store. The next one is party bags, and these ones are not all that complicated if you look at them. One of the things that I did notice is that they were all personalized, but also if you happen to be sourcing and you find a bunch of these bags without any of this stuff on it, and you get them really cheap, you can sell these and people will buy these off of you in order for them to make the bags for other people. So if you don't have any sort of way to print or like a Cricut or anything like that, you can actually get the supplies and provide those for them. But a couple things I did notice is that they were pretty big. So the bags are big. So the bigger the bag, the better. And it seemed to be focused on weddings and birthdays. Therefore, you might want to figure out some way of doing something a little bit different. Oh, graduation, which really is like May, June, but you could start early. The earlier you are, the better. Then you can beat out the competition because some people are maybe already thinking about graduation. Some graduations are happening next month. So graduation is also an idea you might want to think about. I need to put it on there. But this gives you some ideas for party bags, but definitely party bags, either the supply of the bags or personalizing them. Think about a different way of personalizing them. Maybe a different type of bag that's not out there that you could do. Organic cosmetics. That was an interesting one. That was a trend happening on Etsy. And the 3 top sellers I saw was this foundation. Okay, maybe some of you have a special foundation formula that you know how to make, so that was one there. Maybe you have a particular type of skin tone that's hard to match. Maybe there's some type of skin condition that you have found certain ingredients work best for you versus stuff that's mainly found over the counter. So think about ways to differentiate yourself. And on the right hand side was this lip gloss, and it was in the shape of a honeycomb. So think about maybe different packaging to make it a little bit different, more interesting than versus just the tube that you normally see or the wand and the stick. Sometimes it's things that you would never even think of that you're just going through and you go, you know what, that might be sort of interesting to put my product into. And then the middle one, again, if you are a person who wants to do supplies versus sourcing, these were just beeswax pellets. So if you find some good quality items that you either source from or you get a good deal on, you can also sell those as well. This was interesting, our Airpod cases. And people are doing things with Airpod cases. This one that says Jennifer was actually also on Amazon. So that was interesting as well. So there's more about doing things with Amazon, handmade and things of that nature. But this gives you some ideas that these sorts of things are things that people want. And you could see other little things like name brand, Nike, Starbucks. Just be really careful with the copywriting. That's all I have to say with that. I'm sure we all heard about the infringement and stuff that was going on with the devil's shoes or something like that. But there are also other things that you could do as well. If you can find some way, if you're a clay maker and you can make little different sorts of trinkets that people would want. We're coming up on summer. We're coming up on the Kentucky Derby. Maybe a horse. Maybe something to deal with Cinco de Mayo. Maybe a Mexican flag. Anything of that nature. Think a little bit ahead. Graduation, little cap and gowns. Think ahead so you can get above people before it gets too late. Don't be like me. I didn't post anything for Easter, even though I had all these supplies, and then just snuck up on me. I said, doggone it, it's Easter already. Party decorations. I found some party decorations as supplies. These are considered supplies because they are used to make things. They are used to make party things, right? And I noticed that rose gold is a color this year. So if you're outsourcing and you want to pick up some party decorations, rose gold seems to be a very popular color. And on the left-hand side, I don't even know how this person does it. But these are personalized confetti. And so maybe that's something that you want to think about. Maybe there's some sort of confetti or things. And as you're as you're thinking about stuff, and sometimes just going through stores can help you out. Go through them and say, if I was looking for something, if I was looking for my own birthday party or a graduation party or something for my mom, what is not out there that I would want, that I wish was out there? And then you create those things. The next one is a little bit different, is toys and games. Now, I have found that a lot of the toys and games that are available on Etsy tend to be ones that are sensory in nature. So these are toys that are meant for individuals who have issues with sensory, autistic individuals. We've all been in lockdown. It's been a big struggle for everybody, but also for those individuals who may not be getting, not because of the fault of the parents or anything like that, but just because they just, parents have to work and things of that nature, and they're not getting the education that we all deserve, all kids deserve, and we're all doing our best. And so I just found just doing things with your hands tend to be something that was toys and games. So if you like to create some types of toys, maybe if you have some fabric, you're a sewer, you can create something that looks like it has, I'm not even going to even say anything because I'm not an expert, but if you're one of those individuals who does have somebody who has some knowledge in that, use what you know, use the stuff that you know to create some new things. Vintage is another category that I'm going to talk about. And vintage, I found the most popular ones was cards, postcards, tarot cards, all of those things. So it's just vintage cards that you can find, old baseball cards, Pokemon cards, those sorts of things. I know they are around they may be 2000. I can't remember. They might be vintage. They might be coming up to be vintage. They may not be vintage yet. Pokemon. But anything that was made before 2001 is going to be 2001 and sooner is going to be vintage. Patterns. So this was not actually, the middle one is not actually a baby set. It is the pattern in order for anyone to make those. So sewing patterns is also good to find. And you can find that oftentimes when you're out sourcing in vintage, antiques at Goodwill. The other one is buttons. Buttons, you don't have to be vintage. It was listed under vintage, but vintage is these buttons, you could also just consider them to be a supply. People use them to make toys and trinkets and things of that nature. You got a bunch of buttons laying around, go ahead and put them all together and sell them off. The next one to talk about is kids. More stuff about kids. I found that kids was very much on Etsy, so lots of kids stuff. They had some face mask, and it had a sports mesh mask for kids. So if you have some mesh at home and you're able to do those, kids are still going to probably have to be wearing masks in the summer, even though we've got the vaccine going on, and it's going to be really hard for them to play sports. Now, how much it protects, I don't know. I don't know, but it was one of the best sellers. Another bestseller was personalized night lights. So if you find some night lights, if you come across some night lights and you're like, you know what, this is just, kind of plain. I could jazz it up a little bit. You could do that. And you can just make the night light. And for example, you could just make some like the one on the left-hand side with the mountains, and then just add the person's name onto it. On the left-hand side, this was also found on not the personalized part, but just the reusable water bottles. I had found those as one of the top sellers on Poshmark. So that could be another avenue for you to do. So either you can buy them and sell them if you can get them at a profitable rate and sell them off. You can sell them as supplies here on Etsy. But you can also create different sorts of personalized, and just think about what are some things that you can put on there. Is there something glad about a school, or no more computers, or whatever the case may be. Or maybe you just want to make it plain and have it with the individual's name. Another popular item that I found on Etsy was baby clothing, and this was pretty interesting. So on the left-hand side are these hangers, and they just hang in your closet, and they're just, they separate things out for different types of clothes depending on the year. And I thought that was pretty interesting. So sometimes, and it doesn't have to be, so if you find something like that, or if you're a wood crafter, you can make something interesting like that. The middle one was just hangers. I'm assuming that's a supply. So that was a bestseller, was just hangers. So if you get a good deal on hangers, it is a supply to hang clothes on. And then this next one is the bodysuit, the baby bodysuit. Don't call it onesies. Onesies is copyrighted, I believe, by Gerber. So that's why you see it called bodysuit, or one snappies or something like that. But there are some holidays that are coming up. There's Mother's Day, there's graduation, maybe something like my grandmother just graduated from college. That would be really interesting. Something like that. Just think about how you can create different things. The next one I'm going to talk about is kitchen. So let's see. I found some customized kitchen spoons. I'm not sure exactly how you'd make those. I know I've seen some wood things in the arts and crafts stores. I don't think I have a steady enough hand for it. But I'm sure there's something like that. And again, when you're looking at this, don't just look at, well, I don't know how to make that. They need the supplies to make it. So maybe if you happen to come across like a guffaw of spoons, wooden spoons, you can sell that off as the supply part. The one on the left-hand side was some sort of kitchen designs that people made. It looked more like plaques more than just like vinyl. So that might be something if you're a little more crafty and things of that nature. And you could do that with all kinds of somebody's office, somebody's room, dad's garage, stay out, the kids' room, that sort of thing. And then the right-hand side is personalized tea towels. Again, if you don't have the material to make them personalized, you can provide the tea towels, which then can be used in order to create them. So a lot of different sorts of supplies. But what could you do to make it a little bit different? What are some things, if you look at it, it's like, what would I like? Maybe you want a different color. Maybe you want a different design. Maybe you want a funny saying on those. Maybe you just like funnier things. The next one is bathroom. So the bathroom, I found some really cute ones here. So these were just little mini funny humorous sign. Nice butts. Hello, sweet cheers, maybe. Get naked, wash your hands. And they're small. You can tell they're not very big. So if you are out and you find some little wooden plaques that you could use, and then you can add in some sort of design on top of that. This one was this one was a vinyl that you put underneath the toilet seat, right? We all, if you ever live with a guy, brothers, fathers are pretty good, but brothers, other males in our life sometimes do not put that toilet seat down, so that could be a cute little reminder for it. Maybe it's as a guy doing something else. I won't go in too much because it's YouTube. And then this third one is, it's very simple. It looks like they just took a box. Maybe you're at the Home Depot or another supply store. And just think about how you can make it a little bit different. Maybe you'd want to do it in half. Maybe you make it taller to where it's toilet paper holder. Or you create a different color or any of that nature. So think about how you can make things a little bit different. Another one that's very popular is planners. So here are some planners. The three ones that I had found was Ultimate Digital Planner. So people are doing things with Good Nights. I have an iPad, but I don't know what Good Nights is. I think it's something to do with iPads. So I've been seeing a lot more of those where I guess you can make some sort of thing if you want to, if you got some time on your hand, or maybe you use Good Notes. good nights. Like I said, good nights. It must be good notes. Maybe you can think about how you can create a different type of planner. What is it that when you're on your iPad, you wish there was something that was right there at your fingertips that you could go do? Maybe it's copy and pasting websites. Oh my gosh, I don't know how many tabs I keep open all the time. I would love to have just a place for me to do a website. I get tired of bookmarking and having everything in bookmarks. That's a good idea. Another one is another digital student planners. Most kids are on their computers all the time, so that could be something. And then also just daily planners, printable planners as well. So that's all I have for today. I hope you liked this video. Please like the video if you like the information. Subscribe to my channel if you find this information to be relevant and you want to learn some more. Check out my other YouTube videos. I also have some stuff to talk about Etsy SEOs, where I talk about eRank and Marmalade. And I get put on some notifications, so when a new video comes out, you'll be notified. And leave some comments. What are some things that you liked? What are some interesting things that you find? Is some other ideas that you can give to everybody? My always thought is sharing information is great because there is enough work, there's enough for everybody in order for us to do something. So I appreciate you watching, and I hope you have a great day. Happy Easter, and have a great spring.